What's up team? Today I'm going to show you guys exactly how to make a tech pack for your clothing brand using none other than the iPad and PROCREATE. Now I'm going to try and make this process as seamless as possible for you guys so you guys can follow along with me. Now essentially what you guys see me doing in programs like Illustrator, I'm going to try to recreate as good as possible, even including things like color codes, your main page, your call out page, your size chart, and your detail page, which come down to the main things that you have to do anyway when you're making a tech pack. So the first thing we want to do is we're going to go ahead and add in a new canvas, press add. So we're going to go 16.5 for the width, and then we're going to go with 11.5. Next thing, we're going to go ahead and go up to the spanner, and then we're going to go ahead and insert file. Now, if you've already downloaded the clothing brand toolkit, you will have the tech pack templates, and this is where you're going to go ahead and insert the header. This is just to ensure all your documents are nice and organized. Once you have it completed and you have it all sized, just press that little arrow and that will go away. Next, we want to go ahead and start labeling this with our brand name, the season, etc. So I'm going to go ahead and go back into the spanner and I'm going to go ahead and press add text. Now in this text, I'm going to put the brand name. Let's just say Usowani is the project, I believe. Let's go ahead and make sure that this is a black. Don't be afraid to zoom in because an iPad screen is small. And for the font, I'm going to go ahead and use DIN alternative. And to get a font like this one with the brand, like the font that I use most times is Designedbywil, and you can get that on things like Font Meme, the font, whatever font website you guys use to download your fonts. That's what I use. I actually have that font in here and we're going to be using it later. I might also just link it in the description, and this project file is going to be available for all the Patreon members, so you guys can go ahead and play with it, and it's going to be for PROCREATE mainly. Next, all we have to do is we have to fill out the rest of this stuff: season, year, the type that we're making, main fabric, and weight. I also usually have item name here, but I left this open in case you guys have a different meaning for this or want to add something else in this space. Alternatively, you could just use the eraser and get rid of the headings and add in your own settings if needed. So I'm going to go ahead and swipe down and I'm going to duplicate this text and I'm going to go ahead and just move it. And then in here, I put the season, let's say winter 2025. The type is going to be a long sleeve thermal. You can go into the settings and you can play with the size. So I'm just going to drop down the sizing of this. I'm going to drop down the size of the font to 25%, I believe. 25% is perfect. Main fabric for this one is going to be 100% cotton. I already know the weight for this one. It's going to be 275 GSM. The reason why it's so heavy is for a shirt is because it's for winter. This could be item name / code. That's what I usually have here. That's why I left it blank, because some people like code, some people like name. So I just left it blank. Let's go ahead and change this font real quick. Lastly, all we have to do is just clean this up, aligning it to the left, just so it looks a bit more professional. Now in this section here, you add your logo, and essentially that is your main call out page. That's your main call out done. So we're going to go ahead and just combine down on all that, just so it's a lot easier to move when we're moving from document to document. And let's just rename this group heading / call out. And now because this doesn't change at all, you could also just go ahead and flatten this group unless you're wanting to change it. Like always, I would always make a duplicate just in case and turn that duplicate off and then flatten that one. So the flattened version is a lot easier to move. Next, let's go ahead and add in some more text. And now this text is going to be our call out for our page. So this is going to be the main page. So the first page / main page. And for the font, again, I'm going to be using that font Designedbywil or Designedbywil. I don't know how to pronounce it. Designedbywil. Where is it? Right here. And you can see that it is the one that I use all the time. You guys always see me using this font. Just gonna angle it down here. Now, if you want to see how to make a mockup in PROCREATE, just watch my last video on this topic. So I'm going to go ahead and just drop in my mockups. And when it comes to things like making mockups, now I just wanted to give you guys a quick heads up before the video continues. I am using my personal assets in this video, which I've linked down in the description. There's only 30 spots left before this goes back to full price. So make sure you get in or miss out. Let's go ahead and get locked back into the video. Especially in a program that doesn't use things like vectors, you want to set it and forget it. What I mean by that is you don't want to keep scaling up and down your mockup, because if you keep doing that, it's going to ruin the quality, thus making your actual presentable tech pack look a little bit more uglier. So how do we move this over to a new page if Procreate doesn't allow us to make multiple pages in a single canvas/document? What you have to do is copy over your main heading / callouts and move it to a new page. So let's go ahead and swipe down with 3 fingers, press copy on that layer that has our flattened version of our callouts / headings. Go back into the gallery, press create. Let's go ahead and press create. And then in this layer, you want to go ahead and just swipe down with 3 fingers and then go ahead and press paste. And then it should paste it exactly where it was before. I just deleted my file, but an alternative, you can go ahead and press select and duplicate. Make sure you do not press delete. Make sure you press duplicate, and it'll duplicate your actual file for you. And once that file is duplicated, it keeps everything the exact same as is. So that works perfectly as well. Right now, we don't need anything here but our guide for our size chart. So let's go ahead and go into the spanner again, insert text, make sure it's the exact same size. Now here is where you want to go ahead and insert your size chart. Now here's your size chart template. Now this is where you add all your titles, etc., and your mockups. Now I did it like this because when people are creating tech packs in Procreate, usually they have them in this vertical format, but I'm just doing it in a format that I'm more comfortable in. Now here's where you would add either your units of measurement, so that's centimeters or inches most times, millimeters if you're crazy. And then we'll have either your chest, shoulders, body length, and then sleeve length. And then you just add in your dimensions in here. Obviously make it more neat, but for the sake of this video, I'm just going to import a size chart. But you get the gist of a size chart. I added a blank one in here for you guys. If you guys don't like the vertical format, just size it up and get rid of the black borders by using something like the eraser if it's not needed. And then here you would add your actual item, etc. But I'm going to go ahead and just delete that because we're not making a custom size chart. I'm just going to import one. Just grab a front thermal shirt. Now this is the one reason I like Procreate. It's easier to draw things. The studio pen. And let's go ahead and use red. And let's go ahead and go for the stabilization and put this up to the max. And then basically we're going to mark out our garment around 4% for the size. And let's go ahead and mark out the chest. Go ahead and mark out the shoulders. And then lastly, we'll just mark out the body length. Make the size chart a bit smaller. It's a bit crooked and it's driving me insane. And then basically you just add your text and that's going to be the corresponding thing. So shoulder to shoulder. And let's go ahead and duplicate that over here. Sleeve length. Let's go ahead and duplicate that one as well. Now, obviously this is a Rust version and you can go ahead and make this look as neat as possible if you want to, but this is a basic outline of what your size chart should look like for when it comes to the call out piece. Sometimes people have like the size chart on one side and then the call out thing here. Sometimes I have a reverse where the size chart is at the bottom, call out is at the top for the different areas. But as long as the information is visible, you're good to go. Rename this one, main page. Let's go ahead and select, duplicate. Don't make sure you don't delete, and rename this one to details. We're gonna just have the front mock-up for the details because it's essentially the same garment front and back. And now this is where you basically insert any images. Let's go ahead and insert those photos. So we use this one and then we'll insert another photo. We'll use this one and then we'll just use our pencil. So studio pencil again, studio pen, sorry. And we could just use this to make the call outs for the actual garment, circling the areas of interest. Now you could make the line straight to make it look a bit more professional. And then when it comes to this, don't forget to also insert more text. Again, this page can be as detailed or as little detailed as you want. But again, the more detailed, the better. We could also include things, for example, like how we want our actual color to be. So if we want a certain color look, how high we want the color would be important in this page. We could also import details on how wide we want this opening. But again, you could also add that into your size chart. Detail page is just to clarify some key elements that you want the manufacturer to notice so they don't forget about them. Last thing to do is to just label the page. And then we can go ahead and just basically delete guide that we were using, gallery. Let's go ahead and select that page and let's duplicate it one more time. Now in this duplicated one, this is going to be our call out front. So we can go ahead and get rid of this. Let's go ahead and insert our file. Let's go ahead and insert our call outs. Now I have these guys, I have these labeled for you guys. And then you could also insert file, have a blank call out. I made sure to add a blank call out so you guys could call out your things and make it look as good as like the Illustrator one. So we're gonna call out this section here and we'll call out here, and one more, we'll just call out the tags just for the example of this video. Now let's fill out our call out key and then fill out our numbers so everything is connected and intertwined. Add text, so screen print. This is essentially just a summary of your detail page. Duplicate that one again. Let's go ahead and number all our call outs. Let's add some text, so that's gonna be number 1. So that's our call out page for the front. Let's go ahead and go to gallery, rename, call out front, select that call out front, duplicate that. And this is going to be your call out for the back. We can get rid of them. And that's the call out for the back complete. And this is going to be your tags. So these are going to be all the tags. So we have our hanging tag and our neck tag in here. You also want to do things like sizing your tag. And now this is just for an example only. Obviously you would want to use the actual type. And also you would want to insert any other details about your actual tags, grams, double-sided, print, just a heavy hang tag basically. And then you would have to add woven tag for your woven tag, obviously. Let's go to gallery. Let's go ahead and rename this to tags. Let's go ahead and one of the call outs, duplicate that one, except for this one. Let's say hypothetically you have multiple color garments and you're trying to get the color codes. We're just going to focus on our main one for now. I'm going to go ahead and head over into select. We're going to select the rectangle, something small around here. And on a new layer, we're just going to fill that rectangle in, garment color. And we're going to go ahead and go into our values and we can copy over this hex code right here. I'm using this website here. It's like a DNS checker, but if I put like it has a hex to Pantone, I don't know. It's a bunch of random stuff, but like honestly, this was one of the best ones I found. The other ones were a little bit more sketchy than this. I can't link it directly into the description, mainly because I don't want to be affiliated with this, but just search in basically hex to Pantone and you should be able to find a website that does something like this. Copy over your hex code, add that in. Once that's added in, find your closest match. Would probably have to be this one. Let's go ahead and add some text and let's go ahead and just change our color to black or red. Now I do not know what sort of Pantone book this is, which makes it a little bit more, you know, of a guessing game, but essentially that's going to be better than nothing. Alternatively, you could just send the hex code to your manufacturer. Basically, when you're sending color codes, you essentially just want to eliminate the factor of getting colors wrong, and screens are calibrated very differently. Apple screens are a lot better than most general like Samsung or just random tablet screens, because Apple computers are calibrated towards the whole global industry when it comes to design, fashion, etc. And let's go ahead and rename this to colors. Essentially, we have our mockup here done, but you can see it's on multiple different things and that doesn't look quite pretty. So we're going to go ahead and just hover on top of each file and it's going to create a stack. Last thing that's left to do is basically just arrange your stack so it's a lot more readable. So we got main page, size chart, details. Our tags will usually be second last. And then we have our callouts. So main page, size chart, details, callouts, front, callout back, tags, colors. Our stack, let's rename the stack. And now we have a tech pack completed within Procreate. And what I found is making a tech pack in Procreate is about 30 to 50% more work, because it's a lot harder to do all the little steps here and there, because in Illustrator, you can go ahead and just duplicate them onto multiple pages. Whereas in Procreate, you have to make a whole new canvas and import your stuff. Now, what I propose for Procreate, if you guys are watching this, and I know you guys are based in Australia, so I can come knock at your door, please allow us to add multiple pages within one document or one canvas, because that would save a lot of people's lives. And I think that's just really good for design anyway. That's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I love you. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.